In an effort to cater to the toxic nature of so many gamers, Riot has buffed Viper to an astounding level. Unsurprisingly, Viper has begun to dominate the professional meta, which makes it the perfect time to analyze some of the Viper tech that is being used in the Valorant Champions Tour. At the basic level, Viper's toxic screen can act as a series of smokes with the right lineup. Here on Icebox, we see a great one placed during the rotation from B to A. This wall cuts off sight lines completely from all post-plant positions. Pairing the Viper wall with a drone from Sova or a Tiger from Sky also gives you the freedom to find awesome timing plays like this one from Automatic. The decay makes pushing to contest the site extremely risky and can turn a normally weak eco buy into one that can contest rifles in a chaotic skirmish. Viper's extreme ability to control player movement can be used aggressively as well. Here we see T1's Curry taking control of Kitchen on Icebox and immediately fires up a wall that cuts off rotations through the defender's spawn from B. He pairs this with the standard poison cloud under the tube, and this means that the B players have to either push through decay in middle or through their spawn without information on where Viper is playing, or they can rotate all the way through the attacker's spawn to get to A site. He has effectively locked half of the defenders into a poisonous prison. These aggressive Viper walls get extra spicy when you can find spots like this one near the back of A site. This looks kind of like a bug, honestly, so it might get fixed, but the small gap in the base of the wall creates an unexpected one-way smoke while also blocking off all sight lines from the screens and rafters area to deny the retake. It also appears to be a spot that requires a bit of precision to hit to get the one-way, although the version without the one-way present is a pretty good post-plant smoke anyway. Speaking of post-plant, this retake from T1 is a thing of beauty. Curry places this wall from the B site area that cuts off the yellow area from the rest of the site. T1 then sends an owl drone up and over to check for information, and the Viper wall goes up as T1 masses for a push. They drop a sky flash just over the top of yellow right before T1 bursts through the wall, and at the same time, the pre-round poison cloud gets activated to cut off players who fell back into B main. Unfortunately for the retreating attackers, T1 has also sent a player on the flank to pinch in for an easy cleanup. Let's hop over to Bind to look at another awesome combo with the wall and cloud to create a disgustingly difficult situation for the attackers. Gambit's Viper Nats sets up this wall to block off the entry to B from both Hookah and B main. He then takes up position with a judge on the little box outside of Hookah and has his B site teammate shoot the drone before it can spot him. As Fnatic rushes in, Nats throws up the wall and waits for the carnage to ensue. He uses a similar setup later on in the match, and though Fnatic are ready for it this time, Nats adds an extra little wrinkle to it. By placing the poison cloud in Hookah as well, he has created layers of decaying smoke to push through with very little room to maneuver. The Raze rocket whiffs, and Nats quickly repositions himself into the tiny open area in Hookah to avoid being spammed through the wall. He then swings through into his tiny little room that he has created with his two pieces of utility to find a second kill before retreating to the site. Let's head back over to Icebox for some ridiculous Korean Viper play. Glow from Vision Strikers sets up this wall from screens that cuts across pretty much all of the major sight lines and entry points from A main. This lineup also has left just enough space in this corner for Viper to hide. As TNL pushes in with their drone, Glow perfectly times the wall to avoid being spotted by the drone as he crouches in his little corner of pipes. Without the correct information from the drone and worried about the multitude of other angles, TNL runs right past Glow, who drops the Viper wall and secures 3 kills for a super easy round win. It's actually nuts how good the wall can be at effectively smoking basically every important angle while also creating opportunities for crazy plays like this. In this pistol round, Vision Strikers throws up the standard attacking wall we saw earlier in the video. Instead of going for a default plant, however, they send stacks across the ropes with the Sage Wall ready for the upper planting area. He's safely smoked off from the defenders and places this awkward ice wall to block off screens from the other side. Against pistols, this is super annoying to break through, and it makes the post plant incredibly easy for Vision Strikers to pull off. It makes the defenders have to push all the way onto the site through Viper utility to go for the defuse on the other side of the Sage Wall. It wouldn't be a Viper video without talking about the ultimate, so let's take a look at this little bit of nuance that most people miss. When most teams use Viper's Pit, they just kind of throw it down on the plant spot and then use the size of the cloud to find annoying little areas to ambush from. But check out this optimized placement from T1's Viper player Curry. Most Viper pits seem to end right about at the rafters, which allows the defenders to kind of run around back there and shoot towards A main and Nest. This ultimate from Curry, however, creates a sort of anti-one-way. It looks like the pit doesn't even register that Baby Bay has unwittingly walked into it, as there's no decay effect on him. However, his toes are poking through, giving Skadoodle an easy target to shoot. I also like how Ska is playing up on this little cart thing to just throw off enemy crosshair placement a tiny bit. This final bit of coordination is beautiful as well from T1 as Corey reveals his position on site by killing Spider. Curry immediately ends the Viper's pit to give clear vision and allow for him and Skadoodle to trade out the rays effectively. Part Smoker, part Sentinel, Viper's poison decay mechanic is one of the wildest changes ever made to Valorant. It complicates how players have to maneuver around the site so much that Viper will likely be an integral part of the meta for a long time to come.